You want an awesome job after you graduate from university, but let's face it, so does everyone. The competition is stiff. In 2017, over 200,000 students graduated from post-secondary, and most of them were looking for jobs. Many of those students worked at cafes or restaurants, and there's nothing wrong with that. I worked in a cafe after I graduated. I'm going to give you some tips that will help you land a great job. See, last semester, one of my instructors recommended I borrow a copy of his book, What Colors Your Parachute by Richard Bolus. In this book, it outlines the 7 steps to help job seekers guide their search. Today, I'll be discussing the first step. I think a lot of new grads get caught up on which tasks they're going to be performing in their first job, fixating on finding their passion. Well, Cal Newport, the author of So Good They Can't Ignore You, said that this is kind of the wrong way of thinking. He studied people that end up loving their work, and he says most of the time they don't follow a pre-existing passion. Instead, this passion developed over time, and as they got better at what they did and took more control over their career, they eventually found their passion. If someone were to ask you what kind of people you'd like to work with, what would you tell them? Maybe you don't have to answer that question just yet, but I think it's important to start thinking about which people you resonate with. If you work at a bookstore, there's going to be a completely different attitude than if you're working with people that do construction. The author outlines the 6 groups that are present in the working world. The realistic people environment is full of people who like nature, plants, tools, athletics. An example of a person who thrives in this people environment is Carrie Walsh Jennings. She's an All-American volleyball player. She has 3 gold medals and a bronze, and she's also the single most decorated female Olympic beach volleyball player. The next group of people are investigative people, and they prefer using their brain. They're also very curious and they like to analyze things. Vanessa Van Edwards thrives in this group. She wrote the book Captivate, founded her own research lab, and she's conducted hundreds if not thousands of studies. The next group of people thrive in the social environment, and this is filled with people who are bent on trying to help, teach, and serve other people. David Goggins is the man who once ran 205 miles in 39 hours without stopping, and he's also the author of Can't Hurt Me, the legend himself. He has inspired the world and is a constant reminder of how much is possible with a little bit of grit. The enterprise people environment is full of people who like to start up projects or organizations or influence and persuade people. This reminds me of Mel Robbins, one of the most popular air commentators. She also has one of the most watched TED Talks of all time called How to Screw Yourself Over. She's also a best-selling author who wrote the book The 5-Second Rule. The conventional people environment is filled with people who like detailed work or systematic work, like manipulating data and keeping records. The person that came to mind for me is Judd Brewer. He's the Director of Research and Innovation at the Mindfulness Center, and he is also an Associate Professor at the School of Medicine at Brown University. You may recognize him from his widely successful TED Talk, How to Break a Bad Habit. The artistic people environment is filled with individuals who prefer activities that are free, unsystematized. These people are often creative and innovative. When I think of artists, I think of Mark Hemion, who is the head of creative and design at Kosas. He's also worked at Facebook, where he worked on the AI, and he was once the CEO of Design Inc. Now that you've had a chance to see the 6 people environments that are mentioned in the book, you want to ask yourself, which of these groups do I resonate with the most? Let me know in the comment section below which group. So that's the end of today's video. If you learned something about the 6 people environments, hit the like button or leave me a comment. Like I said before, there are 7 steps outlined in What Colors Your Parachute, and I'm going to be making videos explaining the other 6 steps for you, how you can have success when you search for jobs.